Join your hosts, Kenny and DJ, for your weekly dose of pro wrestling excitement.
Would you please shut the hell up?
From the latest news to heated debates, we got you covered. Every week, we dive into the world of professional wrestling, sharing our insights and opinions on the hottest topics. Plus, don't miss our top 3 winners and losers of the week. It's always a showdown.
What you gonna do when Hulkamania destroys you?
But here's what makes us different. We want you to feel like you're right here with us. Our goal is to make you a part of the show, because after all, wrestling is better when it's shared with friends. With 2 years of experience in the wrestling media scene, we're more than qualified to bring you the inside scoop and a fun and lively twist.
What the rock is cooking?
Get ready for a funny, loud podcast where you're not just a listener, you're a valued member of the conversation. Welcome to the Call Up Podcast.
You're welcome.
Welcome back. It's your boys back again. Why did I have the picture graphic up there still? If you guys are watching the live version right now, I truly just went completely crazy. This is us right here. Now you see us. Welcome back. We are back again. It's another edition of the Call Up Podcast. It's your boy DJ. It's your boy Kenny from the east to the west. We bring you the latest news in professional wrestling. We go over the week that there is wrestling, and we give our top 3 winners and losers of the week. Guys, remember, this is just our opinions, but we want to hear from you as well. Chad Miller's in the building right now. Over the Top Talk is in the building right now. Welcome on in if you guys are watching the live version. If you guys are listening to the audio version, it drops every Friday. Join us on a Thursday. We have a really good time. We want to hear from you. DJ, what's going on, man?
Hey, good evening, good boys. It's showtime one more time. Another week of talking about this crazy world of wrestling. Like, we have one premium live event in, only to come to the next. Like, we're getting ready for the granddaddy of them all.
Mm-hmm.
So let's, I saw that I was looking at the show notes and I'm like, we got some stuff to talk about here. We got some work to do.
You know, I was going over the show notes and I'm just like, man, like there's a lot of stuff that we have to talk. I was like, man, what are we gonna talk about, right? And then I just started going everything that happened, you know, and I'm starting listing this stuff, and I'm just like, did I miss anything? And more stuff comes up, right? And I'm just like, oh, you guys.
Almost at every turn.
Chris Matthews is in the building. What's going on, Chris? Jamal is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I was waiting for my man Jamal to show up in the building. I had a really good proud dad moment. I put this in the notes.
Yeah.
You know, we gave my oldest son a goal. It was just like, listen, can you stay on the honor roll? You know, but let me tell you something. Growing up, I was never on the honor roll. Okay. So I don't know what the requirements are to keep yourself on an honor roll. Do you just get this opportunity one time and that's it? But apparently you need to continue with the grades in order to keep yourself on this list, right? So we gave him the gold. We said, hey, stay on here and we'll get you something nice. We got the email. He's still on the honor roll for the second term in the school year. So, you know, shout outs to him. I had to put that out there because his schedule is, you know, he's playing basketball for 2 different teams, and he has to do his studies, and he has to go to tutoring, you know. So, yeah.
But he's doing it though.
But he's doing it though. So shout outs to him for that one.
Yep. Shout outs. I agree. Like, yeah. So even though, man, I wish I can go back to just Like I wish that all I needed to do was turn in homework at this point.
And I told him that because he's just like, oh my god, because he fights a lot when it comes to going to school. Because sometimes he hates it, sometimes he really wants to go because something's gonna happen in the school. And I told him, I was just like, listen, I rather at the age that I'm at right now,
Hmm.
I'd rather trade places with him and go back to school
Any day,
any day,
any day of the week.
especially with the people that I work with. So I will gladly. You want me to go to homeroom? I'll go to homeroom. You
Man,
want? I need to sit here in class for 20 minutes. I will sit there in class for 20 minutes.
man, let me tell you. No, it would be. There's no question.
Yep. I don't gotta pay.
Homeroom, all that lunch.
I
I'd
don't
be
gotta
sitting.
pay. I don't gotta pay bills.
No, chilling. At this point there wouldn't even be anything in any of the other kids could say to hurt my feelings. I'd just be like,
Yo,
just wait till you start paying bills and then come back and see if you got names for me.
and
But
that's what, you know what, and that's why they say there's like, man, when you get older, you're gonna miss all this. And you know what? I'm
oh,
older now. I miss it.
you
I miss it
don't.
a lot.
Yeah, it's like they said, you don't even get it until you get older. You're like, this is what they were talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah. Good evening, Miss Lizzie.
That's my mom. My mom is in the building right now. My mom,
Look at
you
that.
know what? You know what's one thing? Like my mom would just pop in on random episodes and just say, you know what? I'm gonna do a nice little comment here. So my mom is in the building. She's probably watching on her big TV instead of watching on a computer, which is great because I could say I'm on TV.
And she's a proud noni right now.
Hmm. Anything else before we get into the news?
Oh man, like I just like I'll answer like Chad Miller asked if I ordered any stings and like right now with my like remember I live in California, my financial situation I gotta wait a minute. But when things get better, yeah, I'll turn around and probably get something.
You know what? I was listening to the Fake Cave podcast, and they were talking about like the different figures that are coming out and all like the newer stuff from like Mattel and everything. And I've taken a break from buying wrestling figures. Like
Hmm.
it's been a minute.
Hmm.
I think it's been like a year since
Hmm.
I've actually went to ringside and bought myself anything. And I was just like, I told the guys, I was like, man, I'm kind of getting that little itch to buy something. You know, Phil's like, you gotta go, just do it. And I was like, I
Just
don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, and but I don't know. I might have to bite the bullet after like I said, like you said, financial situations and stuff like that. I need to handle that first before anything else, and
right.
and see what is out there because I know I've missed a lot.
Hmm.
So at this point, there's no completing a collection. It's just I,
Chad trying to get you to give your wallet out.
yeah. Chad is you can't listen to Chad, all right?
The devil.
Because Chad is just like, yeah, spend the money, and then all of a sudden, I'm back on the fake cave. Like, hey man, I'm selling these action figures. And
Because I
gotta
need.
I gotta pay for my kids' basketball and baseball stuff.
Right.
So I don't know, but we'll see how it is.
No, no.
Tell me, come join the dark side. I've been on that side, sir.
Yes.
Okay, it's
The same thing here.
it's not a pretty thing. It's not. I think my wife would be upset a little bit of that.
What did you buy now?
You know why? Because it was like that a lot, where you get, the UPS and FedEx guys, they know you, and they're like, oh, this is for him. This is for him. You know what I
And
mean?
you're like, wait, it was a pre-order. Pre-order.
Uh huh.
I bought this months ago.
I ordered this months ago, and it just decided to come. Now, you know how many times I have said that to my wife, like, oh, this thing came months ago. I've ordered this a long. It finally showed up.
Yeah. Oh my
I
god.
used to send stuff to my mom's house sometimes.
Oh no, Jamal, why you say that, man? Now that's every time Chad says something now. I'm gonna have that image in my head. Why did you say
Oh man, but you know what? And I forgot to mention, we're also live on Instagram right now. So shout
that?
outs
Oh,
to
nice.
everybody. Shout outs to everybody on Instagram right now that's checking us out.
Insta.
Uh, Before we get into the news, just shout outs to you guys for showing up every week. The numbers of our viewers have been going up on on the live views. So we definitely want to hear your opinions. And if you guys think that we don't value your opinion when it comes to stuff, we actually got a voicemail from a listener that that had an opinion on something that we talked about. You know what? I'm gonna get into that right now.
All right.
Um, because that'll be a part of our news here. So I got a message here, and it was talking about um, elimination chamber and what we our opinion was about the Grayson Waller effect. I know I said that it wasn't needed. You said that it should have just been on the kickoff show, but the listener came and left a voice note for us and gave us his opinion. So I'm gonna play that right.
Okay, yes, I didn't know that it cut off. When you said the Grayson Waller effect was not needed, I felt like it was needed for sure because one or the other, the crowd really needed it, and I feel like it definitely worked. I mean, the crowd was alive fully when Seth and Cody came out, and of course when Grayson Waller did his little stint. Um, I think it was needed because obviously we were just having big expectations with Elimination Chamber, thinking all Rock and Roman and all of them are going to be involved, and this was where it's going to dial into the tag team match. So I think that's the only thing that everybody's got the letdown with. But other than that, I think it was needed because if it was anything or else, the crowd just looked dead half the show until the main event. So I thought it was needed.
So gave a really good opinion. He said, "Hey, he loved the Grayson Waller effect." Shout out to Buzz and Marlowe for uh, sending that over to us. Just voicing his opinion. Like I said, you guys have your opinions. We have ours. We love to hear from you guys. I would definitely, we will definitely sit here and put it on the show. There was another part to this, but for some reason it wasn't loading when I was loading up the stuff for
Mm.
the show. He did like the fact that we were the only podcast that had something positive to say about Nia Jax. He loved your opinion about Nia Jax, that she's been changing her style. He's actually trained with Nia Jax over at Natty and TJ's gym down in Florida. So that was like really interesting to hear too, because I just thought that that gym was just for people who probably was already in the business already.
Right.
I didn't know that they took on new people that wanted to learn how to wrestle.
Nice.
So shout outs
So,
to Buzz and Marlowe for gracing us with his opinion on that topic that we had last week.
and that's why you guys need to stay with us, like we've been saying. We don't get. We're not going to give you the same stuff. We're not going to say the same talking points as everybody else does, and all that garbage. Like we have our own thoughts. I don't, I don't need a podcast or a show to tell me what my thoughts are. Like so,
Hmm.
so that's why we're different. I don't. We don't go by memes. We don't go by what's popular on Twitter. Like what is the popular thought on Twitter? No, we 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 watch. We've been watching wrestling since forever.
Hmm.
So we're gonna tell you what we think is what's what. So stay with us.
Moving on to some other news that we have here. It looks like AEW is going for a whole new look. They're trying to get themselves a facelift here, right? If you guys did not watch AEW Dynamite last night, uh, they brought back the tunnels. I got a picture of this here. They brought back the tunnels, but they gave it more of a facelift than anything else. So if you guys are watching the screen right now, the colors look very familiar. Okay, as much as people talk shit about NXT 2.0, you
When it
guys
first
are
started.
when they first started, th- there's a lot
Now
of
they don't even
similarities
look
to it.
like this.
They don't even look like this now, but these colors are straight from NXT. I laughed when I saw this graphic because I'm going to leave it up because I want people who are in the chat right now to see this. But it looks like two condoms are are staring at me right now. Like,
Yeah, the I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
think about it now. And people who are listening right now are going to be like, "What the fuck did he just say?" Yeah, no,
Yo,
they look like two condoms. Go
look at the
as you're listening to this. I need you to Google the picture, okay? And then I need you to like just Google what a condom looks like when it's open, and that's exactly what the AEW the tunnels look like. They're very protected.
Now the other thing that I'd like to get people's opinion on is what do you think of that font for the word dynamite? Like it's a little iffy to me, but
Hmm.
which I it was something I didn't think actually needed to be changed. Like I
Right.
think the original font was just fine. It's like they're kind of making changes just to make them
Hmm.
almost.
But the thing that gets me is right, and I did pose the question: is will this help the company? I don't think so. We've we've talked about this for weeks on end,
Hmm.
that we feel like the number one thing that you need to do is continue your storylines, but at least make your stories make sense.
Which we're gonna get into in a minute, but yeah.
I think
um,
that will help you.
right. And I do I like the tunnels thing,
Hmm.
like where you have the baby faces coming out of one
Hmm.
side, heels coming out of the other. I've always enjoyed that with AEW. I'm glad they brought that part back.
Hmm.
But for all the talk of an AEW stand would be like, oh, WWE, like they always do stuff PG and and it looks like it's for kids. And I was like, dude, did you? So after all that talk, did you see this? Like, this is completely to be more. This is when you have colors and like colors and all the bursts of colors going across the screen like that. That is for family friendly. Like that is
Yep.
trying to bring families to the show. Um, one more time, we'll say it again. Like AEW stands again. We don't want it. We want them to. We want this company to stay. You need competition.
Hmm.
Okay, but it ain't gonna work if you bring in this superstar and he shows up and he shows up to half an arena. You have to talk about attendance. You have to talk about ratings. Like that
Yep.
is it's the wrestling business. They're not gonna keep giving you money if you can't fill an arena for your weekly show and nobody's watching. Okay, so so here we go. So
Yeah, because you had, which we'll jump right into it because I said another cheap pop for TK and AEW fans was that they finally got Okada to commit to fully to AEW. This is a second New Japan talent that has come over to All Elite Wrestling and has signed a full term contract with the company. Okada, who was rumored to go to WWE or AEW. A lot of people were saying that he was going to go to NXT and do big things over there. And then it got switched where like TK got in his ear and he was going to go to AEW. It was a locked deal. It looked like that rumor was true that he's all elite. The the only like one of many problems that I had with this segment was Excalibur. Okay, the things that he said to try to hype up the audience that were watching on TV,
Hmm.
it felt so dull to me. Like you didn't get me excited. You didn't make me feel excited that he was in the building.
Hmm.
All right. If this would have been Michael Cole, shit. If this would have been Pat McAfee, they would have hyped him up as he's coming into the room.
Or who was remember? So WCW, like go back to WCW and the Monday Night Wars, and there was I can't remember the man's name, but he used to be at the he would be an announcer, and every time somebody would come up that like from another country or something,
Hmm.
this man would be run like so. Boom, you get the music. He comes out, and then he gives you his stats. While this guy would give you all his stats, his finishing move, and everything while he's
Right.
coming down the aisle. Remember that?
Hmm.
So that's the role. Like that's what Excalibur should be doing. Like I think he needs to let the like so you know Tony Schiavone might as well just do the hype thing.
Exactly.
And Mike Tenay,
There you
thank you,
go. Thank
Chris.
you,
Yes,
Chris.
yes, and so I think Tony should do the hype, and then while he's walking down Excalibur, then you tell me who this guy is,
Right.
and make it sound like he should sound like Hulk Hogan, like you said. Like I should think that this guy is like the Hulk Hogan from Japan. Like that's what I should feel by the time he hits the ring. Mike Tenay was really good at that. This is like so again. This is what O'Shea Jackson was trying to say.
Hmm. And you
They
would.
just had this superstar hit the ring. Half their again, I'm not making this up, and I'm not even trying to make fun of them, but there were it was half empty, like it was a half empty arena.
Yeah.
When he looked to Hardcam side to do the double shake hands with the Bucks, he was looking at nobody. Okay, you gotta feel something like that's gotta feel weird. I'm sorry, that's gotta feel weird. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money he got paid.
Especially coming from where he just came from. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I can. What was it? It was 2019. Was it no? What year that somebody in the chat right now? I know they'll tell me. But when AJ Styles debuted in WWE at the Royal Rumble, and
Right.
he was what, number 3 in the
Something like that.
Rumble,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Had this like
My
this weird song came on. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, what's this?" And then he walks out. Boom. We were.
What did Michael Cole? I still remember what Michael Cole said about
Hmm.
AJ Styles. He was like, "Wait a minute, is it? Could it be?
Hmm.
It is!" Like he hyped it. He
Right.
was like, and then he told you, he was like, "Oh my God, the rumors are true. The
Right.
hottest free agent in the wrestling world is here."
Right.
You telling me that you couldn't do that last night? And you know what we got last night? What is he doing here? What do you mean? What is he doing here?
Yeah. No, that part's over with. Like this ain't the Scott Hall story showing up to WCW. So that should not be what is he doing here. Come on. So
You give that responsibility to Pat McAfee, and he is going to run with it and score every time. He does it
probably
now.
literally. I'm
He
about to say
does
he
it.
probably would literally run with it. Like he'd probably pick up his microphone and run circles, run in a circle while he's introducing this person to show you how excited you're
Right.
supposed to be that this guy just showed up.
And Chris had a really good point. He's like, AEW just expects everyone to know who every wrestler is.
Right.
Like my wife is an average. She loves AEW.
Hmm.
Right? She watches it every week. She even sits there and watches it on Saturdays live. She doesn't want to watch the tape back. She's like, "Oh, it's 8 o'clock. We're home. I'm watching AEW Collision. Okay, great."
Oh,
You know, and she even said it. She's like, "Wait, but who's this guy?" And I was like, and I had to explain to her who he was instead of Excalibur or Tony Schiavone
hmm.
explaining and hyping this guy up.
Man. And then circle of debate. So that's a huge point. Thank you for saying that. So what he's basically saying here is, so the man shows up and turns heel. That should have been like that should have turned the company upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how that should have felt. I mean, the man just turned heel. Like the biggest free agent just showed up and turned heel and went with and just teamed with the tag team that just had Sting's retirement match.
Mm-hmm.
That should be like, you should be going like, wait, what just happened? But
I want to get one comment in here from Instagram where they said that even if Okada came to WWE, what has WWE done with their Japanese stars besides currently with Damage Control, Shinsuke Nakamura? Biggest moment was winning the Rumble, and that's it. And this person's eyes, which is true. WWE has dropped the ball a lot of times when it comes to their, the Japanese talent.
But then you just named a whole lot of people that made it, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's always this whataboutism. So you just named a bunch of people that are making it and have made it, and then so now we're gonna look at the ones that didn't quite make it. Hey, like, you also, like, you get put out there. It's on you to also make people feel something. Like, we can't, like, they can book you to the sun, but you got to do something to make people feel something as well. Okay, are you, so then, now you're going to complain, for example, like with Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns got pushed to the sun when they thought he was going to be this really popular thing, and then we didn't like it. So you can't do that with just whoever as well, like, regardless of, they're Japanese or not.
But DJ, you notice that with WWE, they try to push everyone down our throats. They did it with John. They did it with John. Yeah, nothing. Just exactly what we're doing here. Just take your opinion,
right?
Take what you feel and just run with it. If you like John Cena, then hey, root for John Cena. If you like the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, then hey, go for the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
Right.
There's other guys that they try to push down our throats that just didn't work. Like Ryback was one they try to push down our throats, that didn't work. What was the other?
Pull the plug on that real quick.
Who else was another person that they try to push down our throats, and we were just like, I don't really think so. Like, it's cool. They tried a little bit with Dana Brooke because they just kept putting her in stuff.
Yeah, that's one that I don't get the, like, and there's there's a group of people that are mad that they're like, oh, they didn't do her right. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, she's not that good.
She had a lot of opportunities.
Right. I'm like, she's just not that good. Like, that's all.
Becky's another person that they push down our throats, and everyone's up in arms every time she gets a big opportunity. But guess what? There's a lot of people who are rooting for Becky Lynch, and they want her to win. So they're going to continue. Who's another person who they're going to push down our throats soon? And they're doing it little by little, and that's Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, yeah. I will get to that, too. Yeah. So, it might be Jade when she starts wrestling.
Yeah.
I saw people, like, again, like my daughter and I at WrestleMania, we were taken back by the boos for Bianca Belair. We're like, wait, so my whole section of people, like the whole section of people that I was sitting with, was cheering. We were dancing around with the theme song and everything. And then all of a sudden she comes, like, after she wins the match, she comes on the screen, and 3/4 of the arena is booing, and we're looking at each other like, I don't understand. Like, why are we supposed to be booing here?
Her getting booed at 2 different pay-per-views blew my mind. Just because she's so loved.
I don't get the whole this person wins too much thing. It's like, well, that's kind of how this works. Like, when it's somebody's time, they're gonna win. Like, that's how it goes. After a while, she's gonna lose. Like that, she's gonna, you know, when it's somebody else's turn, she's gonna lose. Maybe I've seen this movie too many times, and
Mhm.
and we have some younger people that just they don't understand it yet. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Moving on to more AEW news. Sitting here,
All right.
are they really trying to give us another pay per view? Like they really want us to pay another $50? Because in the pay per view, they announced that AEW Dynasty is going to be their next pay per view. That is going
St.
to
Louis
be,
University.
yeah, that's going to
Okay.
be April
So-
21st. That is a
Chad's gonna
Sunday.
be there and give us a report.
Yep. Um, here's the thing. Two things, and we said it on Sunday when we were trying to get Bleacher Report to like order the pay per view. Is that if you're gonna give us another pay per view,
Mhm.
you need some type of streaming service. This is what helps This is what helps WWE.
It does. Because there's
You
no
know,
way I'd be watching all of these pay-per-views if
Yeah.
they were all $50 a pop.
I'm not spending $50 to watch another pay per view every single month. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that with WWE. So before anybody goes and says, "Oh,
No.
you're just an AEW," no, I'm not an AEW hater.
No,
Okay,
I don't care
I
who
would.
it is.
I don't care who it is. Like I'm not spending another $50 again to watch a pay per view that's going to end at like 12:30
That's
at
right.
night.
I was thinking
Okay.
about that when it ended, and I was like, "Ooh, in the East Coast, this is." And I did, you know, when I visited, there was an AEW pay-per-view, and I visited the East Coast, and I watched it with Tommy, and I saw how late
Yeah,
it is when it
it's a
ends.
lie. Like we were sitting, and I had to go to work the next day, so I'm just like, man. I was like, this is still going all right. Oh, we still gotta wait for Sting. Oh, okay. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we still got Sting. Like, what?
You know?
Well, one of my one of my winners that I'm gonna give you, like, because it kind of goes with this, is check your Dave and Buster's.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Dave and Buster's near my house,
Mm-hmm.
free. All you had to do was order something, free. Like we
Mhm.
sat there for free, with just order an item, and you could sit there the whole time and watch it for free.
Yeah, I went to I forgot what AEW pay per view was it.
Cinemark used
me
to
and Toe
like,
me and
did
Toe
it
went
as
to
well.
that.
Yeah,
And Regal movie theater on the East Coast. I don't know if you have a Regal.
we do. Yeah,
Okay, so they show the AEW pay per views. So
Right.
they're $25.
right.
You know, you go get your popcorn. They let you bring in your own food. You don't be like, hey, listen, I don't want to buy popcorn or a hot dog because it's going to be a long pay per view. The only what I liked about it was that they said like, hey, if you guys are going to eat outside food, just please make sure you clean up after yourselves. And that was it.
Happily.
Hey, listen, yeah, reclining seats, you're good to go. You can pay half the price of that and go about your business. The only reason why I paid $50 for this pay per view
Mhm.
was the same reason that you know what's crazy is that everybody gave me the same reason. Normally people will go and say, hey, did you get the link? Anybody has a link
Yeah.
to watch this pay-per-view? You know what everybody's response was? Nah, I'm paying for it. I gotta see Sting's last match without
Right.
any interruptions.
This man.
Yep. I guarantee you that was their biggest pay-per-view
Oh, I think
gate.
probably, yeah. In fact,
Because
I'd put it up with Wembley. I'd like to see the number against Wembley's number
even
of pay per view.
even Wembley,
Yeah.
I got the link for that one. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, I'm not. I forgot what pay per view. I think I've only paid for one AEW pay per view besides this one.
So we got some bootleggers in the house.
That's okay. I'll bootleg it.
Uh,
I'm from New York. I bootleg everything.
and then Jamal knows a guy.
I know. I'm from the era where we used to watch bootleg movies from the guy and hey, I got that new Soul Plane. It hasn't come out in theaters yet. I'm
Oh, I
buying that.
remember that. Yeah, I got one
Okay.
of those at the barbershop too. Like before it even
Nope.
It hadn't even come
You used
out
to
in the
go.
theater yet.
You used to go to the barber shop. The guy used to come back. Yo, I got the new movies. You get two. It's $5 a movie. You get two. He barks it down to like $8, something like that. So it saves you $2 or whatever case may be. Or if you buy three, you get another one free. Like, come on now. Like, but God damn, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see how this pay-per-view goes. April 21st. It will be the next AEW pay-per-view. Hopefully they give us something good. It looks like we'll end up getting uh, Swerve involved in some type of way, because last night was really weird where like you lost the match 2 days ago and you are trying to challenge for the title again
Mm-hmm.
when Wardlow, who they shit on every single time, won that battle royal
Right.
that they had, and they were about to just leave him out.
They were. Yeah, one of the kind of the fears I have is that everybody's going to try to have an Osprey match,
Mm-hmm.
where I feel like this man has invented a particular style. Like that's what it feels like, right? And I don't think everybody can do it. Like so, I was just like, everybody cannot do this without like actually hurting the person you're wrestling. Um, so that's kind of what just kind of scares me. Like I think people are going, oh, is that what we're doing? And they're going to try to do it, and we're going to see people getting kicked in the face for real, you know. So, but yeah, but going back to Wardlow, I really feel bad for this man. I do. Like it's just like, what else does he need to do? Or I mean, just tell me that this company just doesn't like big guys. Like it's just if you're a big guy, you're not gonna. It's just not gonna be that great of a time for you.
Yeah, I mean, because it's always the opposite that we say here. It's like Vince never liked the skinny little guy, unless
They had to lean on Bret Hart,
and yeah, and like TK doesn't like the big guys because, my God.
Yeah, they're just kind of pushed to the side. Like they're almost the sideshow. It's just like, okay, now watch the little guys slap each other. You know.
Like he wants the big reaction crowd pops from everyone, and he's not gonna get that from the big guys. He's only gonna get that from the small guys like Darby Allin and Will Ospreay, who's really not from that way. Will Ospreay is not small, because if you see him in person, he's a big guy. Like he got size, but it's because he has size and he can move, which TK gets that hard on for, and it's just like, okay, like damn, I fuck with you.
The work rate over the story.
Exactly. But I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm gonna get the Brian Cage too.
Oh no, that match is in my losers column.
So,
Sting's last match closed out the show. I didn't ask you the last couple of days, what did you think of this match? Because I wanted to get your reaction here. So, as a long-time Sting fan, diehard, what did you think of this match?
Well, I'll go from the beginning.
Let's start from the top.
Yeah, so I will say like AEW when it came to the production and everything and the presentation of everything, they did it right. Like the whole thing, you had the Bucks come out, you had Darby Allin come out by himself, and then you got the vignette of Sting like sitting there watching his career go by, right? And with the music playing, so probably not a dry eye in the house. So as people were watching that, And you kind of saw it when he came out, and I think they had a young man that was in tears as he was coming down the aisle, right?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. So, and then so you had you had the sons come out like with you had the championship, Old Glory gear first. Then you had the Wolfpack gear, and then I yelled, and then at Dave and Buster's, I yelled out, they gotta pay the money and just have Seek and Destroy play. Like this is the only thing that would make sense right now. And then boom, and
I was so happy when that
I
music came
popped.
out.
Yeah, so so yeah, so we got Seek and Destroy. The Wolfpack son there, he got some ups there. Like that kid can jump.
He needs to fill out that suit though.
Right. Well, it's kind of like 'cause the other one was a little bit more beefy, right? And the other
What he looked like his dad from back in the day.
yeah. And then the Wolfpack Sting had all the athletic ability, so it's just like, oh, if we could just put these two kids together,
You're right.
you'd have Sting again, right? So yeah, you let them get some stuff in. That was nice, especially like since they got beat up when they got jumped, so let them get their comeuppance.
What's crazy about it is that for a good minute there,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the rules of the match because I just wanted to see Sting. So
Mhm.
when they were jumping, when everybody attacked the Young Bucks, I was
Mhm.
like, whoa, did the bell ring? And my wife was like, the bell didn't ring. Where are you? Like, what are you focused on? I was
The
like,
bell did ring.
yeah,
We're looking
like,
at the outfits and everything.
yeah, I'm looking at everything else.
Right.
But obviously that's when they went up. So I think Excalibur said something about the rules or whatever, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's tornado rules. Anything goes. I was like, oh, okay, no
Yeah.
wonder.
It was all free for all,
So
which fits the Bucks. So then they start pulling glass out, and so Sting breaks one of the sheets with his bat just to show this is glass. Like you can tell that's what that spot was for. Then you got all this stuff happening, and my end of the debate about Darby Allin's dive was it's done. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Like it's not necessary. I don't see this kid like it. I don't know how old this kid's gonna be when he finishes up.
did you not just hear his promo on Wednesday?
Yeah.
He's climbing a mountain. He may
Right.
not come back. I said, you know what? This kid's gonna fucking die. What is wrong with you? He dead. That's it. Just make a Darby Allin action figure to memorize this kid because why? Like seriously, he goes, I may not come back. He was getting real emotional about it too when he said it, and I'm just like,
What is he gonna free climb it or something?
yeah.
Because it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Well, he said he's climbing Mount Everest, and I was just like, ain't too many people come back from climbing that.
No, it's not like there's like a certain height you get on Mount Everest, and you're literally dying. Like you're only supposed to be there for a few minutes and come back down.
But my whole thing is, has he trained for this? Like,
No.
Don't people train for that?
Yeah.
Like you just don't wake up in the morning and say you're climbing Mount Everest. Like,
No, it doesn't work that way.
this ain't Queen Latifah's a holiday now. Like,
No.
you just don't start doing shit on the whim. Like come on.
Oh man, we might have to do a watch along now, but just because. So he makes the dive. He's covered in blood. They're refusing to pay people. Like
I seen that where people were like, I'm suing because I got
shards
hit
of
with
glass. Yeah. Okay. And they think like the little disclaimer you could put up, like they put up on the screen before the show is going to protect them. And I was like, I don't think it is, man. I think you guys are going to come out of pocket.
Somebody's going to win some money.
Yeah,
for sure. Somebody's going to win some money.
So then we got Vintage Sting in the ring. Like we got the, they tried all this stuff, no selling. He's bleeding in the mouth. And he takes him out. And I'm sure one of the reasons why we had all those legends there, I bet you all of them had to convince him to win this match.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much why they were there. Like,
Because
no, it's the right thing in this particular case for you to win the match.
because a lot of people were saying, well, he should have went on his back, like everyone else does, and then you hear like the other reports like from Fightful where they were like, no, TK and the Bucks were like, you're winning this match
Right.
and you're leaving undefeated with the titles, and that's it.
Right. I'm sure Ricky Steamboat, Nikita Koloff, and everybody else is like, no, dude, you need to like,
Yeah,
because even how they wrote the story, you can't have like, so when you're doing a retirement match, you can't have the opponent be that much of a douchebag
right.
and win. Like, and then that's you leave a guy's career like that, where this guy was that much of a douchebag the whole time and then wins. Like, it's like the Triple H beating Booker T, like how that felt incomplete to have Triple H win. Would have been the same thing, and that would have been your last match. So that's why it's like, no, we already wrote this into a corner where you have to win. So, so he doesn't, as we know, he doesn't really argue much when it comes to when it like, that's one of the legends of him. He just doesn't, the whole backstage politics and everything is just not part of the thing. And then I've been seeing, so then the debates have started. Who is really better? Like, really thinking about it, The Undertaker or Sting, and looking at their entire, like, look at the whole careers now.
Oh my god, I will not for nothing. Uh, I would have to go with Sting.
That I had to really think about it, even as a Sting fan, because you're always like, they shove all of this Undertaker stuff in your head, right? Like,
Hmm.
but you really think about it. Okay, look at the like, for example, look at the WrestleMania streak. Who were the majority of the wrestlers that he was wrestling in the streak?
I mean, it was just guys that really he's fought before. They've beaten him in other pay per views,
Mm-hmm.
but it just so happens that it comes to WrestleMania and you can't beat this guy.
I mean, come on, what? Ellie, like, you had the Giant Gonzalez, you had Jimmy Snuka, who was
Hmm.
already done by that time, etc. Like, you can go down the line until he starts going against Shawn Michaels and Triple H,
Hmm.
like, where you really have real competition, right? For him at WrestleMania. Yeah, he won a title one time as well, yeah. But for the most part, that streak was kind of padded. Like, I can say, like,
Right.
I feel comfortable saying. Yeah, I think if you look at both careers, it's Sting. It's Sting. He changed his character up just as much as he did.
Yeah, we said that
Um,
last week when we looked at all the different characters of Sting, and he evolved so many times, and not just one company. In like
mhm,
every company that he went to, he gave you a different version of himself.
right. And then especially if we looked at, so if we look at these last few, like, if you look at their last legs, even,
Hmm.
it's not close. Like,
No, but circle debate, you're
mhm,
completely right. The circle debate is like it's hard to compare two different paths, two different careers, both are reinventing their careers, so it's difficult to compare, which is true.
yep.
But I think I think what DJ's saying is like overall, like you look at the body of work
Now that
and
we can,
just
because now we can look at
just
the entire body of work.
and just what they put in. I have to agree where I'd be like I think Sting, did a whole lot more, especially with this AEW run, because he took somebody like Darby Allen and helped him grow, and Darby helped him grow a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you really think this Sting was going to do half this stuff if you leave him by
Mm-mm.
himself? Hell no.
My man took a glass bump in in this match. Like, I can't see him deciding to do that. Just not watching Darby for the last couple of
Right.
years.
So I was, with this match being his last match and everything, I thought they protected him very well, where like he wasn't gonna get hurt. He probably has some bruises and he's sore, but nothing where we'd be like, oh my god, they had to wheel him out, or the way he couldn't really give a speech because he was winded and he's sitting on the floor and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
he did
Now,
his
see, the
thing.
clown here. This is was my I was thinking about that too. That's what his comment here.
Taker was amazing, but he never actually had to carry WWE. Sting multiple times had to carry WCW. Then he carried TNA for a bit, and then leaving AEW and helping Darby Allin. No, it's true. Because Sting was that guy
Right.
to help out the company. Taker had a cast of all stars
Right.
to help him
Right.
out.
And at one point, they were kind of like getting fed to Taker. Like so.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what kind of happened on Dynamite, like you had, all of a sudden you had a tag team match or against the Undertaker player, and
Yeah, that was for
so
the.
that debate's going around. It's a fun one.
I'm sure it's going to continue on for a good
Sure.
while.
Yes.
But Sting going off into the sunset, I don't want for it to be like the last time we hear from Sting. I would love for Sting to continue to help AEW. I think he'll be a great addition to like their production team for creative, for like let's get these guys and girls in the gym. He's probably gonna have him, Billy Gunn, Mark Henry, Paul White, Dean Malenko. Like you guys got legends that can shape a lot of people. You guys got some amazing people back there that can help out with creative, that can take that old school feel, mix it in with this brand new generation, and come up with something that's going to get you these views.
Well, I mean, hopefully they, like you said, they got to be willing to listen. Because we've heard that complaint before that, there were legends that have left AEW and said, yeah, they don't want to listen to us. Like we tried to give them some pointers and tell them how this stuff kind of works, and nah, you're old and we don't want to listen to you. Okay.
Another person that I feel at this point in his career maybe needs to just work backstage and help out with creative too, and that's Matt Hardy. Rumors are that Matt Hardy has not signed a new contract with AEW. They're still working out some kind of deal between the two. I think this is the same thing that's going on with Jeff as well, but he still has time on his contract because due to injury and the whole rehab thing that he had to go through last year. So, and I pose a question in the notes is like, should Matt Hardy stay in AEW? Jamal says no.
So it's for the Hardy Boys, even like so the tag team, the Hardy Boys. It is like so it's time for them to have their like wherever they're going to be, like kind of like what like kind of agreeing with Jamal here. It's kind of it's time to have their last run. Okay, they're let's face it, like they're falling apart, which is that's okay. Like Father Time's undefeated, and this is wrestling, so
yep.
So this is natural. So I'm not making fun of them. I'm not trying to hate on them or anything. They've been taking these wild bumps for what 20 years. So so dude, it's time. It's time for whatever company they do choose. It's time for the run. It's time to have that last run like Sting just had. Give them their flowers on the way out and have that final match. I'm kind of with Jamal. Like, they made their name and everything was made in WWE.
Right.
And I think they would be able to do this right.
Hmm.
So that it might be just time to do that. Like, just time to, okay, here's your, then at the end of that run, the next year they're in the Hall of Fame. Like, let's just it's time. I think it's just time to do that before they really hurt themselves. Like, because they're still trying to do stuff. It's like, you guys, let's let's stop this before you really hurt yourself.
And not with a company like AEW right now. They're just throwing stuff to the wall, seeing if it sticks, and hoping for the best. You know.
Yeah, yeah, they might not be ready for this kind of a thing, like you're saying. Because you saw they were barely making any room for them,
Hmm.
and currently, so despite the we're gonna go into Sammy Guevara. Despite that last match, like, I mean, what was, like, that match was on, what was that even on? That was on Saturday night, right?
No, that was on Rampage.
I mean, Rampage. So
Yeah.
so it wasn't on the main show. I guess is what I'm saying. It wasn't on Dynamite. So
And that was the complaint that the Hardys had was, hey, we're stuck on Rampage
right.
every Friday. And
So
I think they gave them maybe one shot to go on Dynamite after Jeff was like, vocalizing his frustration to the IWC, and they were, I guess Tony was just like, okay, we'll give you, we'll put you in one match on Dynamite, and like that didn't turn out too well, and then they stuck him right back on Rampage, and he went and faced Sammy Guevara and got knocked out.
right, like literally knocked out.
Nick from the Fake Cave podcast is in the building right now.
Hmm.
And he had a really good thing because people were saying, "Oh, they'll most likely they'll be back in WWE." But Nick goes, he's like, I don't know how they fit back in WWE, even if the final lap deal Matt will never get seen at the level that he needs, and Jeff can't do signature spots, which is true because you think about it, like Jeff Hardy, it's like himself. I don't think that he'll be able to do a lot of those moves that he's used to doing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? In his mind, he can do it
Right,
without question.
right.
But his body is like, hold up, you want me to do what?
Hmm.
Nah, my friend, that's not happening.
Right.
Like that's
Well,
like us now. Like, can you
mhm.
still run as
The
fast as
times
you
I was
ran?
running, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Like,
I was running the 800 at a minute and 48 seconds. There's no way at this
at
right now.
listen, at my best when I was in shape
Right.
and I was running all the time, I was running at least in like 820, 830 mile pace.
Mhm.
I can't do that shit now. Ain't no fucking
Oh
way.
no,
Like,
no.
that ain't
My
happening.
Kaiser. If I tried to go out on track right now and did that, I'd probably have to have my Kaiser card taped to my thigh, for when they come to pick me up. Because
Better tell my kid to call somebody to come and get me.
Call.
Beat me on the damn track.
But going back to, like, so I guess, kind of answering Nick here. Um, so the way like, let's say I had the pencil,
Hmm.
and so right now the tag team division is not like you have a bunch of dominant tag teams. Like, it's
Hmm.
kind of like almost anybody can win on a given night. That's kind of funny. Yeah, but it's
That's what
true.
happens to me.
Yeah. And so now you can have them, like, kind of barely win matches going all the way up to they face the Judgment Day,
Hmm.
and you have the Judgment Day retire them. That's the way I would do it.
Yeah. Even on Instagram, it says the same thing. It's just like it's time for them to quit. It's time for them to call it quits. Matt is a statue in the ring.
Mm.
Jeff can still go slightly, as we've seen in the recent months, but enough is enough, which is true. Listen, we don't want to see our heroes that we looked up to go down this path where we're just like, enough is enough. have a seat,
Mm-hmm.
and just move on. Find something else to do. And I
You know
wish
when
I would have had I wish I would have had this in the notes, because now that I'm thinking about it
Mm-hmm.
and we posted about it on the page and we made fun of it, but Ric Flair needs to stop.
Oh man. For real this time. Like not even kidding. I for real thought he was dead. I did.
When he
When he
got
was
super kicked,
Yeah.
holy
And then he
shit.
was just laying there like that. Like
I said he died. Somebody better call
I
Tom.
for real thought he was dead. I was like, did he just die in the ring? Yes, Chris. Like,
Yeah, Chris Jericho too.
yes.
Like,
Stop. 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 I like you talk about ramming somebody. Like we were talking about ramming people down their throat. How is it that this man is on my television every week?
like you're wrestling against the people that you used to wrestle against. You're wrestling against their children.
Right.
Like, you were babysitting Hook when he was a kid. You probably changed his diaper, and now you're taking freaking suplexes from him. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I get scared
Um,
every time Randy the Ram shows up.
yeah. Um, Something happened over the week that was very interesting, and people were just like, "Is this real?" A lot of people said that it is real, but they still haven't gave you any type of like details of what's going to happen next with him. And that's Sammy Guevara.
Mhm.
Sammy Guevara actually got suspended for the match that he had with Jeff Hardy and knocking him out. Now, this is not the first time that Sammy Guevara has been in a situation with a Hardy that he's knocked him out. You remember a year back, like 2 years ago, he had the match with Jeff, with Matt Hardy,
Matt. Yeah.
and he went from the top, and he came down and knocked Matt Hardy out.
As they weren't they like in the concession area?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
they were backstage. They climbed this huge like crane like
Yep.
structure, and boom, spot goes wrong.
And you could
Matt
see it.
Matt is just laying on the. You seen his head just blah blah
Yep.
right on the concrete.
And then the doctors looked at him and said, "Oh, he can keep going."
He's good. I still want to know that doctor. It was from the forklift. There you
Forklift.
go.
It
And
was one of those. You ever play football and you kind of get dinged, and then they go, "How many fingers am I holding up?"
yep.
And two. Even though you
Uh-huh.
clearly see five, but but you
Well, it
felt
was
them
like
tap your leg twice.
it was like what you call it. Remember that Varsity Blues. Remember Varsity Blues
Yes.
when the kid got
Yes.
hurt and it was like they just gave him the needle in his
Yep.
leg and it was like he's good to go.
Yep.
That's
No,
exactly what that's
that's
exactly
what
what
they did with Matt.
AEW's medical staff
It's like we
is.
got pay-per-view time, son. You need to get out there.
You want to get on a rampage, right? Bring
Yep.
your ass to fucking work.
Oh no.
Shout outs to Britt Baker for not coming back to work though, but that's another topic for another day.
Oh, that's a
Oh.
good one. For somebody's got a concussion, ask him a true or false question.
Okay, but they didn't say how long he was going to be out for.
No.
Um, but listen, this is going back to what I was saying before.
Hmm.
If you as much money as TK has, you telling me you can't make yourself a performance center
Hmm.
to like help these people out? Because
Hmm.
it shouldn't be a lot of the guys in the back who are like their top stars. They're gonna guess where they go? They go to Natty and TJ
Right.
to go train when they're down in Florida.
Right.
So what does that tell you? They want to get better so they look good when they're in the ring.
You can kill like some. You can kill somebody in there. some things again, like just like we are just talking about with Darby's dive, like some things are just not necessary. They're just not.
Hmm.
He could have gone through. Like we would have been just as he would have got the same pop if he went through a stack of tables,
Yep.
and we would have been and then kept going with the match, and we know he's going to be, that's going to give Sting the 2-on-1 few moments there, and that would have been fine. We didn't need it to be glass. It wasn't necessary. And like you're saying, Sammy, he had like when you watch his matches, he has some good ideas. There's I can see where he's going with it, but uh, sometimes he's just that little bit off, and it'll be like on the highest risk moves where he's just that little bit off, and of course that's gonna cost you. Like when you do the high risk stuff and you don't do it perfect, like you got to be perfect at that moment. Like you can flub a lot of stuff, but you cannot flub when you're way up there like that.
And I've seen it. I've seen Darby Allin in the Indies,
Mm-hmm.
like really mess up a move, like jump do the casket drop from the top, thinking he had enough space. The person moved, and he hit the guardrail. Like, blah. It was bad. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
saw
mean? Like,
one highlight reel where it was a flaming table, and he didn't quite, like you said, he didn't jump far enough, and just the
mm-mm,
back of his head,
mm.
hits the flaming table. So and then you had a bunch of guys run in and and extinguish it. So it's like,
I don't know. They got to do something.
so
Ugh.
maybe this suspension though, what I was getting to. So maybe this is where he goes, okay, we need to clean this up, and then so to show that I'm quote serious about this,
Mhm.
I'm gonna sit with like I'm about to suspend somebody for this. Like, hey, you need to go clean it up. But like you're
We need to go
saying,
see Natty.
yeah, but I was about to say, but at the same time, okay, sir, how do I clean this up? Like, you don't have anywhere for me for me to work on this.
Hmm.
Um, so like you said, you got to go to basically an independent thing that Natty's doing. If he so thinks that he needs that, like that's the other thing. Is like, is he gonna humble himself and say, okay, let me go fix this?
He better,
So
because they ain't gonna be flying too much. But then at the same time, AEW won't get rid of him,
no,
because the minute you get rid of him, WWE is gonna snatch him up. They're gonna put him down in the performance center.
him and Ty Conti would be
Yep.
WWE.
And boom, he's gonna be a way better fucking superstar. He'll go see Natty and TJ after
Oh,
that.
tell him he's going to go see.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like, you're going down here, you're gonna learn
yep.
from them, and then you're gonna come back to the performance center. You're gonna learn from Shawn Michaels and everyone else, and then we're gonna polish you up. I'm gonna send you right back out there. Yeah, no, I mean, and Nick is right, because Nick is just like, just invest some money in some established wrestling schools and get these people the help that they need.
Hmm. And
He'll,
then Jamal saying Booker T.
yep, Bookie T has a school too. Yeah, he's been knocking out some really great talent that's been
Right.
in ROH and MLW, and has done spots on Dynamite and Rampage. So that's another person you can go to and be like, you know what? I want to polish my act. Can you help me?
Right.
Something wrong with saying you need a little bit of help, baby? Come on now.
Everybody.
Shit.
Everybody. When Sting was able to, like, here he is getting a push, and he was able to go into the match with Ric Flair and listen. That's all he really had to do in that match was just listen. And boom, classic match.
Oh, so see, that's something I didn't know, because Jamal said that Booker T trained Sammy Guevara,
See?
but he doesn't know if he finished them.
Because he might be right, because if, like, probably that's when he got picked up by AEW,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I'm going to go over here and, do the thing. But like you said, if you're doing these high risk things and you haven't finished training, or you're a little bit like something's off. Like it always seems like there's something a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for
Uh,
help.
yep. Uh, Last week we talked about Liv Morgan and the oppressive showing that she's been doing as of late. And this past Monday, again, here comes Liv Morgan showing that she's turning that switch
hmm
on being a heel and getting involved in in Becky Lynch's match.
Right.
Um, I said it before, just pull the trigger already and make her a full blown heel.
Oh, it's
I
happening.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just want to like drag this out a little bit and be like,
Because you got a couple weeks here,
you got a
so
couple more weeks until WrestleMania, and so you want to try and stretch the storyline
it's
as
made the
much as
story
possible.
intriguing.
Hmm.
Like, so it's made this story intriguing. So yeah, yeah.
Because it makes you think what's going to happen um, with this match at WrestleMania, because you have Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley,
Right.
but now
For
you
now.
still have, yeah,
For now, that's what we
for
got.
now, because now you still have, you still have Nia Jax lingering around, looking amazing,
Yep.
getting that crowd reaction,
Yep.
right? And now you sprinkle in Liv Morgan, who's again looking amazing,
Yep.
getting that
Yeah, that's a
heel
heck of a
get,
way to come out of
yeah,
pregnant. Like she's like I have no complaints of Liv Morgan's her showing at all. So
you know what I mean?
her
And
performance
Jamal
is great.
and Jamal's thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, and that's make it a fatal four way.
We've seen it before with the men even. So almost the same storyline. You know, when
Hmm.
you had it like well this time you don't have like four people with a representative like when we had what
Right.
was it Big Show, Triple H, and you know when and then it was a McMahon that was like you know
Everyone
had
has. I think Cena was in that
yeah
match. Yeah, but yeah, but the one thing that I would say, as like Jamal said, just make it to a fatal four way, is that Rhea Ripley is too over.
mhm.
They don't want to see her lose these titles right now.
No, no, she's too over. Um, like she, like I said, my daughter has her two are it's Bianca and Rhea.
Hmm.
Like it's all like she's got the t-shirts and everything. And she became like she full fledged. Like I watched her become a Rhea fan at
Hmm.
WrestleMania. Like she watched that match. She was on the edge of her seat the entire match against Charlotte. And that was she's like at the end of the match, she's like, yeah, I'm a Rhea fan. Like that's it. So
And people gravitate towards her, and it's just you know I can see that if she loses this title at WrestleMania, the the amount of boos whoever wins, you might as well just let Nia Jax do it because it fits her character now. Because if you give it to Becky Lynch, you're just that's career suicide in my eyes because there's no way in the world that Becky's gonna come out on top of this and the fans are gonna cheer her on Monday. They're gonna boo her at They're gonna boo her at WrestleMania, and then they're gonna boo her again on Monday Night Raw.
because like you said, like she's barely like the pop is not there like it was before.
No,
Um, and like you said, to have her actually win the whole thing like that, it wouldn't, uh-uh. It wouldn't go well.
Nick said you got to get her a custom Judgment Day T-shirt and add her name after our truth. I wanted one of those shirts too, where they put like
Oh,
our
the
truth's
truth.
name on it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what happens to let's see what happens in this match. I think I'm with Jamal where I say it'll be a fatal four way.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see that.
yeah. Speaking of matches, they may happen. Weeks ago, when we kept talking about all the different stuff that could happen for WrestleMania, you came and said that WWE needs to go back to the old school way and make a tag team match, their main event for a WrestleMania. Last
At least one of the
Friday,
nights.
yeah, at least one of the nights. Last
Like they did
Friday,
about last year. They did
yeah.
it last year.
So last Friday, The Rock came out with Roman Reigns. He issued a challenge to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, if you beat myself and Roman Reigns, I will make sure that there's no bloodline interference at all
Mm-hmm.
on night 2 of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But if they win, it's bloodline rules.
Mm.
Jimmy could be the special guest referee. Solo Sequoia could sing the national anthem, which I popped for that one.
He's smiling, but that's just the way
Yeah,
he likes when he's smiling.
you know, and he was going to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, Solo was fighting so hard not to break like when he said that. Oh man.
Because we've seen the classic videos of Solo in
Right.
his room dancing like he was a part of You Got Served.
Right.
But
Yeah, kid
I
can move.
yeah, I like the idea because obviously you want to see The Rock at WrestleMania. You're trying to figure out a way to include him in this pay per view without it being one on one because
Right.
even though
I think that part might be over.
yeah
That part of
he's
the story might be
he looks in incredible shape because that's movie body
over. Right.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. This
Right.
is not WWE hitting the ring, taking bumps. Dwayne, like
Mm-mm.
there's two completely different things,
Mm-mm.
So this Friday now, because on Monday, Cody comes out and he talks about The Rock's appearance on SmackDown. He's talking about the Cody Crybaby. Seth Rollins comes out with this highlighter outfit that he was super bright on Monday. And he's like, I got your back. He had a little reference for Dwayne The Rock Johnson by calling him Diarrhea Dwayne. And then they said that they were going to go to SmackDown and answer The Rock's challenge,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously you're going to have another sold out SmackDown.
Right.
Because now you got all 4 guys in the building. People are going to want to see this in person. So it's like,
Oh God, yes. So this is a way to. So again, take notes. Like this is how you sell out. You continue to sell out your venues
mm-hmm.
for your television shows.
So I'm very curious to see what happens on Friday with all 4 guys. I doubt that Nick Aldis is going to have them fight or a brawl is going to happen, but I'm very curious as to see whether or not, like, are we actually going to get this match on night 1 or they're going to try and swerve us somehow, some way. But I'm 99% sure we're going to end up getting this match night 1 to close out.
Because the
WrestleMania.
stipulation, yeah, I think because the stipulation, you'll have it in night 1. And like I said, I really feel like somebody watching us or somebody like I think there's a WWE mole that watches our show. Like that's all I'm gonna say. Like
I love it.
I want to say I said this like at like I mean going way back. Like, I mean that and I want my writer's credit. But so yeah, so what I think is gonna happen is so yeah, they're gonna go to accept, and like you said, like there won't be like a real physical thing, but it'll be like a threatening of one. Like you'll have a bunch of referees or something come out while they're trying to grab each other.
Right.
But yeah, they're obviously gonna accept this challenge. They're gonna lose, and we're gonna have like a whole like it's gonna be complete chaos. for this championship match, which I'm all here for. Like, we're gonna see probably every Samoan wrestler, like from everywhere, is probably going to be in the match some kind of way
Mm-hmm.
in on night 2 in the main event of WrestleMania. But going in both directions, though, there's going to be Samoans that are tired of Roman
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, no, he's not been a good tribal chief. I don't want him there anymore. And there's going to be some that's still trying to help him. So, with Cody in the middle, right? So I think that's what we're going to see.
Roman doesn't have a really good track record when it comes to big matches and his family getting involved. Because everyone turns his back on Roman, and I'm glad that you said there's like you're hoping that they come out winning night 1. I want The Rock and Roman to win night 1. I want them to beat down Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, because then now night 2 is going to be so interesting, because which when we get into the winners and losers, you still have Drew McIntyre out there.
So here's my prediction for that. I say they're going to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's going to be a cash in right after the loss. Like, right as the Bloodline's walking off in victory, Seth and Cody kind of sitting there looking at each other, and then you're gonna have, you're gonna have him running down the aisle with the briefcase and a referee,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna and Seth. I don't think Seth makes it the night 2
Mm-hmm.
as champ. And we
You
have
know
Drew
what?
McIntyre versus.
You know what? As you're saying that, I'm fantasy booking
Yeah.
the whole weekend, because now Seth loses night 1. He's hurt. You get the cash in. Damian Priest cashes in on Seth Rollins, wins the title. Now he faces Drew McIntyre on night 2.
And remember, he's got a tag team title match.
Right, but that's going to be on night. That's going to be on night 1. I don't think they're going to give you the tag team title match on night 2.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right, and they said it on Instagram, because I was just getting to that. Now Seth Rollins is pissed because he lost. Not only did he lose the tag team title match, he lost his title. That means he can't even face Drew McIntyre. His weekend is done. If you want Roman to keep the title, you have Seth Rollins cost Cody Rhodes the title.
Ooh.
And we get heel Seth Rollins, which in turn is going to continue this babyface run for Cody Rhodes.
But let me tell you how people will burn down the stadium. Like this.
Oh, for sure. Philadelphia.
It'll be like the end of when the NWO was out, and they used to throw stuff at the NWO.
Philly will fucking go insane if that was to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Jamal says that even if Cody wins, Seth can say that he owes me one. But then that's just two baby faces, like wrestling each other. Oh, hey, remember I helped you out. I lost my title. Cody wants to be the good guy and be like, hey, Seth, I'll give you a title shot on Monday Night Raw. Or, hey, I know you're hurt. Let's wait until Backlash, and I'll give you a title shot wherever Backlash is going to be. You know what I mean? But I don't want to see that.
Or you could have, or just to keep the edge, like you're saying, is during this whole, like I said, this is going to be like the Bloodline rules is going to be complete madness.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Seth come out there, and he tries to get Cody to lose.
Right.
And Cody notices it. But you still have at the end The Rock basically helps Cody. Like, I think that's what's going to ultimately happen.
You know what I would love to see? You know what I would love to see before you get into that next one? Just thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
and we were going back and forth here in the chat and looking at Instagram.
Right.
Um, what if Seth beats Drew McIntyre on night 2, and now
Okay.
he's helping Cody
Mm-hmm.
in this
Oh.
match.
Okay. I see where it's going. Yep.
Now Damian Priest comes out, and in this whole melee of everything going on, not only do you have Cody versus Roman going on, but
Oh my
now you
God.
have Priest versus Seth going on.
And his
The referee,
bloodline rules, so it's like there's
yep.
nothing that says I can't do this.
So
So
now Cody hits the crossroads on Roman, not once but 3 times. Damian Priest comes out of nowhere, choke slams Seth. The referee's confused because now both guys are pinning,
the champions.
and you have the other referee come, and both referees are counting 1, 2, 3. The bell rings. Everyone's looking confused, especially the referees, because now they don't know what to do. Samantha's sitting there like, do I call Cody first, or am I saying Damian Priest? And then you just let her take over, let her emotions take over from there.
Right.
And you close out with Cody and Damian Priest in the middle of the ring, looking at each other, looking at these titles, and just holding them in the air. And you
Confetti.
just, yep. Put the
Fireworks.
confetti if you need to, put the fireworks, that's it. And then you just fade to black. I know people that are listening to this right now are probably like, what the fuck did you just smoke? I am completely fine. I am not drunk. This is just something that just came to my mind. I would think that this will be fucking awesome. People will be talking about this for weeks because you'll be confused. You'll be like, well, what the wait,
We
what
gotta
just
wait till
happened?
Raw to see to take this apart.
Now I gotta wait until Monday Night Raw to figure all this out.
Right.
Like, I don't want the Sean Ross Sapps or the Denise Darcedos of the world to dissect this match and say, "Well, I heard backstage and blah blah." I don't.
Oh God.
I'm gonna stay clear from any reports until Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea because it's just gonna piss you off. Because
Yep.
sometimes I think they're just pulling stuff out of their ass. To be honest with you.
Jamal's like, I see a dusty finish. Chris goes, Drew will go over. Seth Priest will cash in on Drew due to Drew stopping Priest's prior attempts to cash in. Clown's like, you're smoking something better than me in social.
In SoCal.
Yeah, SoCal.
So, because we got that stuff that's legal.
Mm.
That you can
That's just the craziness that
go to one of those green cross places and
just went into my brain.
Feel all right.
I don't know, but as we get closer to WrestleMania, obviously we'll start to give our predictions for matches that's going to happen throughout the night. And
we got to see that last SmackDown and Raw before Mania, because you know that because they like to lay the pieces on those last couple of shows to before Mania to kind of give you an idea of what they're thinking. No, this is like they're I like they're building the stories. So you're gonna have here you have like the other thing I just thought about. So you have the it looks like like say bloodline rules, and you're still gonna have a brother versus brother match. So so this is where it's Mania season.
Jay could be a part of this match too.
Yep,
it happens.
It is Mania season.
Speaking of Mania seasons, we do have some news because a lot of people were wondering when they were going to start announcing people for the Hall of Fame.
ESPN.
Yeah, we had a couple. ESPN broke the news that the wise man himself, Paul Heyman, the advocate, was being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, which is
Right.
fitting because it's in Philly,
Yeah. No, that does make sense. Yeah.
the home of ECW.
Right.
So I don't. I would love to know who will have that honor to introduce him and give a speech.
I got Dreamer.
I was thinking Tommy Dreamer, but do I really want to see him cry? Because you know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm. I want Billy Ray to do it
Mm-hmm.
just because I know he can like deliver a good speech without getting too emotional. The Dudleys together can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I really would love Taz to do it, but he's not. He's unavailable right now because he's with another company.
Well, that's one thing I'll give WWE. They'll let you come in to do stuff. Like, you had Jericho on, on Stone Cold, so
Hmm.
so they'll allow it for something like this. But I don't see like Taz. I would not. To me, he's not that great of a public speaker, so I wouldn't pick Taz for that. Like like somebody like Dreamer, somebody like I can go. Bully Ray
Hmm.
would be good too. Um, man, I would not do RVD.
Oh no, we'll be there
Yeah,
all night.
yeah, it'll be there all night. Um, yeah, no, you got some, you got a roster there that you can think about
Hmm.
that can do it, that can actually talk. Um, so, but yeah, he's well deserved. I don't know what the hell Ryback is. I think he's been dropped on his head too many times. Like, it's just,
Well, we don't need Ryback.
yeah.
Well,
So
Ryback was talking shit about Paul Heyman when he
that's
found
what I'm
out
saying.
that he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
so
I
CM
don't
Punk could
know.
be another one too,
Oh yeah. Yep.
who could induct him into the Hall of Fame, and
Sure.
but let's see what happens. I mean, eventually we all know they're gonna reveal who's going to induct who into the Hall of Fame. So let's see. But shout out
It
to
will
Paul
not be
Heyman
Brock Lesnar.
though. Ooh, that would have been good. That would have been good, but it's not
But
going to
it
be
will
Brock
not be.
Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely
It
won't
won't.
be Brock Lesnar. Um, I saw a video
Hmm.
a couple of days ago, and then I posed this question.
Did you want to do the other Hall of Fame person
Oh, go
before you
for it,
go to that?
go.
So to me, one of the GOAT women's wrestlers, like, and I will 10 toes down on this one, and that's Bull Nakano
Mm-hmm.
is also now going to be in the Hall of Fame. If you don't believe me, you can go. Like, this is one of those. I'll be like an AEW fan. Go watch and come back
Yeah.
and talk to me. She the she innovated some things even. She was a badass. Okay, she was a bad so well deserved. She just retired, so this kind of
Mm-hmm.
this was a great way to continue her, giving her flowers as she just retired last year, and then here we are with WWE Hall of Fame. So shout out to Bull Nakano. I wish that T-shirt had a different color. I did. I was like,
Yeah, the
maybe they'll have some other
green.
merch.
I'm.
Maybe Mattel would get a hold of her.
I was thinking that too. I was really hoping, like, okay, now that you're a part of the Hall of Fame, like, what is, you know, a company like Mattel gonna do?
So
You
that'll
know,
be toyetic for
can
for
we
Bull Nakano.
can we get a figure? I think that's something that we need to like hound Steve Ozer for.
Hmm.
You know, when we see him in the comments and stuff like
me and
that.
Clown could go down to El Segundo and go knock on the
Exactly.
door.
Knock on his door. You're right there. Like
Yep.
I'm about to send him a DM and be like, you need to come on the show and just tell us
Yes.
like that you're gonna make this.
Oh,
And
anytime. You can
I'm
come on
still waiting
anytime.
for my Bad Bunny figure too.
Same.
I need that. I need that elite Bad Bunny. So, Steve, if you're listening to this, I know you're a fan of the show because we
Yes.
follow each other on Instagram. Please please give me my Bad Bunny figure already.
You can
Stop
come on
playing games.
anytime and we can talk about
Sure.
rosters, you know?
You
You're
know.
welcome here anytime.
Um. So we move on, and I was just like, I saw a video where a follower of the show and also a friend of mine's, he was saying he was out in Orlando, and he said that the NXT crowd that
Hmm.
shows up every single Tuesday
Hmm.
is one of the best crowds going today. They're better than any crowd that you put in front of Monday Night Raw,
Hmm.
SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, Collision. I'm gonna let you. I'm just gonna play the video
Okay.
of what he said, and then I'll get your opinion from there.
Okay.
Y'all see this crowd right here? This is the NXT crowd. We are the best crowd in professional wrestling. We are better than any crowd on the main roster, any wrestling promotion. We are the best, number one crowd. We always keep it hype. Shout out to Pon, to Megan, to Regina, to Devontae, to Gabe, aka Boss Baby. Shout out to Faith, Faith's mom. Shout out to Corey, who drives the blue truck. Shout out to the other Corey, to M, to Matt, to Elijah, to Daniel, to White John, to Drew, Najee, G, Jordan, Mel, Rosa. Shout out to them. I want to give a special shout out to the dudes that created the Whoop That Trick chant, to Will, to Steven, to Angel and them boys. Shout out to Dave, David, Ant, Rich, Washad, Jalen. Shout out to Green Hat Guy, Patrick and his family. Shout out to Marisol and her daughter. Shout out to Hunter and his dad. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Tiff with the stiff wig. I want to give a special shout out to my dog Cleveland, aka Black Arrow. All the crazy chants that y'all hear from Whoop That Trick to the Trick Gonna Beat That Ass. To Corbin got Ashley Knees to the Mellow Gonna Catch These Hands. To the Oba chants, to the Maya Fi. Even when Oba talks and we be like, oh, we got that from my dog Cleveland. This crowd is so creative. We are the best at everything when it comes to the crowd work in professional wrestling. We can't be stopped.
So I seen the video. I said, hey, I'm gonna share this on the show. Um, I watch NXT every Tuesday,
Yeah.
and I agree with him because no matter what, they're up off their seats.
Hmm.
They're chanting for anybody that comes out there. They sell every single move that's done.
Hmm.
You know, they come out with their signs. Even if it's somebody new in NXT, they're bigging them up. That the following week, you're sitting there and you're like, you know what? I'm a fan of this person. They're getting really over with this crowd, and not for nothing, all those people that he shouted out. If you go and you look at an NXT show, they're always either front and center where the hard cam is, or on the side where the people come out.
Hmm.
And they're dedicated because they are there every single Tuesday.
Man. Man.
Like if it's church.
Right. Right. No, it's no joke. You know what? It's hard to argue this because again, you can put them up against any audience you want to. I don't see them bitching about who's winning and losing, who did this, who did that, and all of this
Hmm.
garbage. It's all right, here comes Trick Williams. It's time for the whoop that trick chant and all of this. Like they got some, like you said, they got a little something that goes with each character. They were in the match. They're not worried about all this outside stuff.
Hmm.
Um, no, it's hard. That's a hard one. Like Clown has got a good one here too.
Yeah, they definitely remind me of like that old ECW crowd
Right.
where like they get you because that was one of the things for me growing up. Um, Watching ECW was that crowd.
The crowd. Yep.
I wanted to go to the Hammerstein Ballroom
Right.
in the city in New York
Right.
and be a part of that crowd. But like my parents would let me go to a lot of WWE shows,
Hmm.
but my mom wasn't letting me go to an ECW show.
Probably not.
Like there was
um,
no way in the world she was gonna let me go out there like that.
no. And see, now I
You
was in
know,
college looking for, looking at for the cable access channel that ACW was on in the middle of the night where I
right?
went to school. And the other thing that impressed me was that this man started naming people. Like this man went down the
Hmm.
roster that usually shows up, and and they're by their nicknames and everything. So it's just
Yep.
like such and such with the stiff wig. So man, like that's love. Like that
Yep.
is like that's like
They. It's a
I've had,
community.
yeah, like if you've ever had season tickets to something to
Yes.
like a sports
Hmm.
team. That's what it's like. Like you start to when you start to go to your seat every game, like you start to
Hmm.
know all the people around you. So so yeah, I'm highly impressed, and I can't really argue what he said. Like I can't, I don't have an argument for him.
So shout outs to the NXT community, the family of NXT, because you guys every single week show these boys and girls so much love when they hit in that ring. No
Yes.
wonder people want to go to NXT.
Like I'll go to
Like
NXT.
shit, like hell yeah, like they're doing an amazing job over there. Why not?
Some people barely want to go to the main roster when it's time to go to the main roster.
So we're down to our last bit of news before we get to winners and losers. Um, you came to me with this idea, and I said let's run with it. You shot a whole bunch of uh, different tweets at me from like the IWC and just like the craziness that we see on a normal basis. So I screenshotted a lot of them, a couple of them here. The first one was about Vince McMahon, because people were saying that Vince most likely would come back, and they were like, no, TK and Endeavor executives was like, Vince McMahon is not coming back to the company.
No.
We're not in conversations with McMahon. We don't know his motives, his plans, or his timeline. We don't work. He doesn't work for the company. And he doesn't. They don't plan on bringing him back to the company. I thought that was pretty funny because I was just like, okay, yeah, never say never because we can always see this guy back somehow, some way. The next one was CM Punk was telling everyone stop using real glass, and he proved it right. Look at Darby Allin's back.
And the people that were sitting around.
Yep, people trying to sue now
Yep.
because they got freaking glass.
Probably in their eyes and
For sure,
everywhere
somebody got
else.
it on their cheek.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at different videos of
Right.
people that were recording it, and they were like, "Yo, you gotta watch out." One person was like, "I got hit in the face." Like, so imagine
I'd be hella mad. I'm sorry.
spend all this money, and I get hit with glass in the face. This ain't GCW.
No,
At least GCW warns you. Hey,
very much so. Yeah.
if you're gonna sit in the front, I'm just letting you know you're gonna get hit with
With
glass.
something. Yeah.
Like forewarning you now. The next one that I have up here was everyone thanks Sting on Twitter, but WWE. I think WWE saw this and said to themselves, we need to do something. So they had Michael Cole and Pat McAfee say something about Sting. But it is kind of true, though, and it is a little fucked up where you think about it, where it's just like the man worked in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The man was in WCW that you purchased at one point.
I can argue that a lot of tickets for WrestleMania 31 was for that Sting match.
Yeah.
I can argue that.
So you telling me that you couldn't, Triple H couldn't send out one tweet? Hey, just want to give the icon Sting his flowers or whatever it is he normally says. He's like, I heard this is gonna be your last match. Thank you for everything that you've done for the wrestling business. Something. They couldn't even do that. They waited until Monday, and Pat McAfee got cut off because he was like, "Oh, you had an impressive match on last night." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Shut the fuck up! You can't talk about their pay per view like that."
No, that's true. Yeah. It's like, yo, you can talk about the wrestler, but not the. We don't need to hear about the match or the name of their pay per view.
Exactly.
So-
The last one I have here, because I couldn't get all of them on there. For
No,
some
because
reason.
I like to give you options, and
Right.
and yeah,
So another one that you came across was what we saw last night. The Swerve is challenging Joe for a match for the title again after he lost. Joe was the game. Then Adam Cole came out and challenged Joe and Swerve to take on Bennett and Taven. Why would Swerve and Joe team up? Why would Joe agree? Why would Swerve say yes in the place of a title match with Joe? And then I wish I could show the video, but this is a screenshot.
because that's the funny part. Yeah,
Where it's like Triple H is holding up the card and was like, "Who's booking this crap?"
yeah.
Listen, I was very confused, the same way everybody else was.
Oh, it
I'm
was an
like-
old school SmackDown. It was a Teddy Long SmackDown where everybody that's having four guys come out and have some kind of a disagreement. All right, we're gonna have a tag team match, player. Like that's basically what happened. With the world champion and your most over wrestler. And I'm sorry, they are a nobody tag team. Like I don't care what you try, and stop trying to So you want to talk about something rammed down my throat? Why I should not see ROH championships on this show.
Nope.
Give them their own show and make them take their titles over there. Stop bringing all these titles into this show. Like it's watering down all of your titles.
The crazy thing to me is when I see Adam Cole come out every single week,
As a
and
manager.
no one has a problem with this.
And he's a manager. Man, I wonder who had that idea.
But when Vince had that idea, yeah, but he doesn't know what he's doing. How can you take a talent like Adam Cole and put him as a manager? And he's doing that now. Even Swerve poked fun of it.
Yeah, he did.
And I popped for that when Swerve did that, because I was just like,
Yes.
oh, well, it's true. So what can you do?
Yep.
But let's get into winners and losers of the
I'm
week.
about to say from the comments, I think this part of the show is a hit. Like people are already chiming in with their winners and losers, and this has got to make. I've seen the comments. This had to make winners and losers. So I'm I think we should be proud of this section of the show.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
Yeah.
So winners and losers of the week is sponsored by Ringside Collectibles. If you guys are tired of going to Target, because I've been to 3 different Targets, didn't see anything that I liked. Kept finding Britt Baker. I just don't find her on my TV. I haven't been to Walmart to see what elites or ultimate editions that they have. But if you're tired of wasting gas, just go down to Ringside Collectibles, see what they have in stock. Use the code word to call up to save 10% on your whole entire order. And then show us what you bought so we can talk about it with you. You can share it with the guys over at the Fake Cave. And everyone walks away happy. DJ, I always like to start it off with you. What are your winners of the week?
I had to I had to kind of stack 2 matches onto the first
Mm-hmm.
loser here, and that's So the Rio Statlander match and the Hook and Cage match against Brian Cage match. Both I'm making one loser altogether because they both had the same stupid thing happen. Um, there should be no way Rio can do anything to Chris Statlander. Like there's not a point in that match that I believed any offense that Rio could do to Chris Statlander. Same, I can say the exact same thing with Hook and Brian Cage. I'm looking at these two men. There is nobody can convince me that Hook should be able to do anything to Brian Cage, anything, let alone win the match. So I can't I can't do it. I can't do it. Like this is one of those. I damn near just walked away from them or went to do something else because I knew what was going to happen as soon as I saw who was in these matches and I know who's booking.
I saw that. I did the same thing.
Yeah. So I can't stand it. It's like this doesn't make. I need it. I need a little. Just give me a little bit of logic. Okay, but neither one of those wrestlers should have any claim, any kind of claim of beating those people. So I couldn't do it. Loser.
What else you got?
Let's see. Seth Rollins' promo. I think he dropped the ball. Like you had all weekend. Like so, to come up with like some kind of name for The Rock, and that's what you came up. You had all weekend to do. You had one job.
Diarrhea Dwayne.
He had one job, and he like butchered. Like I mean, Diarrhea Dwayne. That's the best you could do. Like, your sons could do better than that. So, so I'm like, lose. Like that's a loss.
Any winners?
Let's see. Well, we had to do the Sting match. The Sting match was definitely a win. Just overall, like the overall story and everything, win. Like that was all a win. And I had to give a win to David. Like again, folks, check your Dave and Buster's before next time a AEW pay-per-view comes around. You could be like, I know some of you are pirating, but you can see it without pirating, without I even met some. Shout out to, we had a listener, by the way, was at the Dave and Buster's with me,
Nice.
Leonard. And there were some other guys that are probably listening to this episode because I was going around advertising. So Dave and Buster's, check your Dave and Buster's before you go out and spend $50.
Anyone
But
else?
let's see. And that was like I can. And then just like the one thing that also bothered me was my last loss here is just what they had to do to like after the Bloodline promo. It just seemed like they had to speed up everything. So you had like basically every segment after that felt sped up. Like the women's match that both of them deserve to have their entrance. Not a jobber entrance for anybody, and that match deserved to go longer. Like I don't mind, like people that don't get wins and losses in wrestling are trying. Oh look, they're already burying Naomi. No, they're not. Okay, they're not burying her. Like, that's not
they
what's
said
happening.
they said because like when The Rock went like an extra 20 minutes.
Something like that.
Like that's crazy.
That is crazy. So, but yeah, so those matches deserve a longer time, and but you got time restraints. So yeah, but I had to go a loss for that though because the whole rest of the show just felt rushed.
Okay. Anyone else?
That's it.
So, my first winner for this week is the Dirty Dominic Mysterio. He impressed me so much with that match against Gunther.
Same.
And people, because I was like, this is gonna be a quick squash. Something's bad's gonna happen. But he was chopping away at Gunther.
Right.
He left a handprint on his chest. And he was going back and forth with him on a whole bunch of moves. And I was just like, okay, Dominic, let's go. I loved it.
In fact, that should have been the Hook and Brian Cage match.
Exactly.
That's
Like
how you do it.
what they did on Monday should have been done with Brian Cage and Hook. I don't know what it is with Brian Cage besides his size that you're telling me you can't use this guy for something. Like this guy went from a skinny guy to a big guy and could still do skinny guy moves.
Right. Right. And then this whole thing where you want me to feel like this 160-pound guy is doing is taking people 100 pounds heavier than him and suplexing them over his head.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Like I just I don't like you should be laughing at your television screen every time you see it.
My next winner is Chad Gable, and that
Okay.
promo that he cut backstage when we found out that we were gonna have this gauntlet match for the person who's gonna face Gunther at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Even Chad went back to an old promo video that he did promoting the IC title match that he was gonna have with Gunther around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got to pull the trigger on Chad Gable. He's a small guy, but he got fucking size. And see now, Chad Gable, I could believe that he could suplex
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cage
Mm-hmm.
because we've seen the videos
Right.
of him in the gym
Right.
lifting 500 pounds
Right.
clean.
Right.
So, shout outs to Chad Gable. You are my winner of the week. My last winner of the week, and I think was it Jamal had him as his winner of the week as well, and that's my man, Dry Popeyes Biscuit Drew McIntyre. My brother, come to the congregation because you are a winner again.
Come on down.
Yo, when I mean I'm loving Drew McIntyre because he's not talking a lot.
Not a whole lot.
Seth Rollins ran out to try and help in the match, and Drew's just looking at him was like, did you just really just run past me? Like if I would mean nothing? All right, you know what? I'm gonna take care of this right now. I fucking claymored him to death. I was just like, oh my god. And then I wake up Tuesday morning
Mm-hmm.
and I turn on and I look at my phone. Who's on my phone but Drew McIntyre trolling, playing CM Punk's music to the crowd as he's leaving the arena,
Yay.
continuing the storyline between him and CM Punk.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
Drew.
So does CM Punk, by the way. Like,
of course, because it's keeping
Yeah.
his name in there.
right.
So
And that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to ride. You're supposed to ride it. You're supposed like whatever happens, you're supposed to ride with it.
exactly. One of my losers for this week. I'm for it is AEW. You have so many different women back there that could have wrestled Statlander, but you bring back Rio. There's nothing wrong with Rio, by the way. I like her, but
That's when, like, I don't. I'll admit it. I don't like her at all.
I like her. I like her. I think she's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But somebody, please, somebody in these news outlets, if you guys are looking at this clip for any reason, or you're like, you can get this to Sean Ross app or whatever. Matter of fact, when we do these clips, I'm gonna make sure that I get this particular clip, tag him in it,
Mhm.
so maybe he can answer this. But where the fuck is Britt Baker? If you could wheel out Adam Cole
Mhm.
every week,
Mhm.
you could bring out Britt Baker. because she looked fine to me. She was at the Super Bowl.
Right.
She's walking on two legs. She's using both her arms.
Like you said, there's like Britt Baker amongst other, like it's starting to, the list is starting to grow. Like there's a few women that's like, whoa.
You got Athena
Yep.
over at ROH.
Yep.
You have Viva Van over
Yep.
at ROH.
Yep.
Like, use these women. They have they're massive talent.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now guess what? What happens next week? Now we have Willow facing Rio. I can't. This is why
So you
you'll
see what I
continue.
mean?
This is why you'll continue to be in my losers column, and Willow will be in my losers column next week for even
Unfortunately.
just even
Yep.
doing this match.
Right. Just by association.
Just cause.
Yep.
What was another? Obviously another.
Isn't that the
loser.
night that Monet is supposed to be there?
Yeah, supposedly. That's
So you have all these missing women,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's add another one.
Yep. My next loser will have to be Darby Allin, even though.
Look at this, before you do that, like so, Chris Matthews, like Abaddon, Athena,
Uh-huh.
Serena Deeb.
Yep.
So
All these girls that are sitting backstage doing absolutely nothing. Athena, you have her in ROH, which you could bring her to the forefront
sure.
and expose her even more. Nothing. Another loser will have to be Darby Allin in that crazy spot, because so many people. So when we posted the video, you
Mhm.
don't see that one of the Young Bucks was not laying there, but he was just standing there. The spot made no sense. It didn't. Why would you do this? And then you oversold it. Because when he jumped, he went. If you would have kept the Young Buck, one of the Young Bucks, who was, I think it was Nicholas Jackson, if you would have kept him there, he would have never moved. He would have flew over him.
I'm gonna watch it again now.
Because he landed not in the beginning part of the glass, but he landed at the end of the glass.
So he almost overshot the whole
Yep.
stack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch it again. Yeah.
So it's just like, what are we doing here? You gave us a cheap pop, and now you got freaking a million cuts on your back.
I was about to say that took an hour for them to get all that glass out of them.
Thank God that was the last match. Imagine if it wasn't.
Oh,
We probably would have had Tony Schiavone doing a long ass interview while they're still trying to pick up all these glass.
right. It's like how they have to change out the mats or the canvas every now and then.
Tyson says that Abaddon is over at ROH.
I mean, we got all the ROH titles on the TV. You can bring, they can wrestle.
You know. But those are all my losers for the week. Hopefully, you know, we can get some. We could get this turned around, because I don't want to shit on AEW, but they need to get it together.
Well, because now there's no excuse now. So it's like, so you got Okada, you got
Mhm.
you're about to have Mercedes Moné, you're about to, like, you know, just like the meme that we had the other week. Like you got all these people.
Mhm.
So there's no excuses. Like, you know, one of the excuses I love people to give is that, oh, it's only a 4 or 5 year old company.
Right.
And my thing is, yeah, but we're in 2024 with way more media than we had before. This is an entertainment business. This is overnight now. So the whole a young company thing is no longer an excuse. Like that's not an excuse anymore.
You got
So
too many people.
Yeah, so you supposedly have all the people. So all of the things that they've always said that they didn't like about, like, I'm talking to the stand now, like the AEW stand. Uh, all the things they don't like about WWE, they're gonna see there's a reason why they do it, and you're gonna
Mhm.
start to see it in AEW. Look
Exactly.
at the color. Now you got the colorful stuff going on. Now it's not just this like the grungy black and gold, black and yellow
It's,
anymore. Like
it's
they're gonna
gonna
have some
start.
color.
It's gonna start turning family friendly by the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Remember we said that.
Okay, because you gotta sell tickets. Like that's like
Hmm.
there's a reason why like WWE does what they do.
Yep.
It's like they learned a while ago. It's like, yo, okay, you know, guys make, just running around with, no kind of, like, you just have a guy with two names and a pair of tights is not going to sell tickets. It's not. Like, we need
So
characters, we need stories.
so Jamal, because I haven't played 2K yet. He goes, shout outs to 2K for adding Kenny Omega and Jacob Fatu entrances motion in their game. Now I'm definitely want to see how that is. And
The
Tyson
community's going
goes,
to have fun with that.
of course. And Tyson goes and says, did Kenny Omega respond to his release from the Elite?
His
So
release from
yeah.
the.
Hmm.
'Cause
I thought he was gonna come
I'm not
out.
gonna
I thought he
believe
was gonna
that.
come out last night.
Yeah.
But that should be interesting. Hopefully, we hear from Kenny Omega soon. But that's it for this show. We got all of our winners and losers in. We talked a whole bunch of news that we have been seeing on the interwebs. We got to interact with our audience that we have every single Thursday here. Quick shout outs to the Knuckleheads Network for always having our backs when it comes to providing content for the show and just keeping us going. The Fake Cave podcast for providing a home for us as well on Thursday nights. That's where we get a lot of people that come on here to chat with us. The Jobbeteers podcast. There's a lot of podcasts that we do rep because we all like help each other. So shout outs to Jobbeteers. They also provide, they post our shows all the time for like their audience. And SeatGeek for being a sponsor of the show. If you guys are going to WrestleMania and you guys are new to SeatGeek, use the code word to call up, and that will save you $20 on your ticket purchase to WrestleMania. Ringside Collectibles for providing us sponsorship for winners and losers. Barrios Toys over on the West Coast for showing us love, and Battle Club Pro here on the East Coast. They show us love as well. They're coming back in the springtime to bring more shows for the East Coast area.
Nice.
DJ, anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here?
So big shout outs to our growing audience here. So we, like you said, we had some folks over on Instagram now.
Mm-hmm.
Fit Cave, I see some YouTube symbols. Much love to my East Coast people, and of course over here in SoCal, like we got so now you got Clown and I got to deal with this traffic for the 5-day Madonna concert going on at the Forum.
I love me some Madonna.
And possibly now that I talked about the Dave and Buster's, maybe now we can have a following here at the Dave and Buster's every time there's an event. But yeah, so everybody do everything you do for your favorite podcast or your favorite content creators, like that's what we're doing here. So we're every week we're here for you. So it's free to like, it's free to subscribe, it's free to tell a friend.
Yep. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate the show, leave us your comments, your voicemails, and we'll gladly play it on the air. And just let us know how you feel. But guys, until next time, be safe.